Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're looking at gift ideas for the festive season. So it's that time of the year when the festive seasons for us to buy gifts for people. So this is just a few simple ideas that might help you or inspire you for buying presents for a loved one this year. So obviously there are always the obligatory perfumes and aftershaves and other similar gift ideas. I thought I'd introduce you to some different variations, something a little bit different to consider. So I've given you 5 ideas or suggestions for men and 5 suggestions for ladies. So let's kick off straight away with perfumes and aftershaves. So for men we have obviously the normal sort of aftershaves that we get, but I wanted to introduce you to something a little bit different. So for example, penhaligons is a tried and trusted brand. It's a little bit unusual as well, so it's something to consider, something that's a little bit unusual rather than what you normally can buy in a chemist's or in a drugstore or something like that. So maybe something a little bit different. And earlier I did a video on Floris as a company that deals a little bit more bespoke. They can even make stuff to your specifications if you wanted, along with Creed. Now Creed is another company similar to Floris, and they make some very bespoke and very special fragrances as well, not only for men but also for ladies as well. So with that in mind, with the festive season, whilst you might want to buy something from Floris or from Creed or even penhaligons for that matter, they can be a little bit pricey, and if you're not sure if the person would like them or not, this season, this time of the year, they do special offers. For example, Floris, they do this. It is a 10ml bottle of aftershave or fragrance rather, and this is a little gift wrapped here, £25, and in this case this one is for their Platinum 22, which is normally only sold in 100ml bottles for about £260, whereas you can get a 10ml bottle here for £25, and it's a nice size for somebody to try. If they didn't like it, you've only lost £25. If they like it, then it opens the door to something a little bit more expensive when you get them the bigger size bottle. But you could also get a range. So this is their new fragrance, 007, inspired by the man himself, James Bond, off the back of Floris 89, which was supposedly Ian Fleming's flavour of choice. Likewise, Creed is another one where they do sample boxes, and so in this one there are a number of fragrances there, 5 in this one, and they do those for women as well as for men. So you could get a sample box which would still be a nice gift and something a little bit different. So besides the Chanel No. 5 and Allure or Coco Chanel, there are all sorts of other types of perfume available Floris do a ladies range, as do Creed. So penhaligons, another one I'd recommend, and there are quite a few little bespoke companies out there that do make unusual fragrances, so maybe think a little bit outside the box on this occasion. So idea number 2 for him might be cufflinks. They come in various shapes and styles, very bespoke, some of them for club memberships. Now they range in price from anything from £5, let's say, up to, well, the sky's the limit. You could spend £2,000 or £3,000 on a pair of cufflinks. I think most people would then look around the £20 up to £100 for a pair of cufflinks, maybe £250 at the most, if you want some really nice ones. But as for the ladies, maybe consider something a little bit unusual, a watch for example, something that's got a bit of character to it as well. So maybe something along these lines, and it's all to do with the design, the shape, and it gives it a little bit of character. And they don't have to cost a fortune either. It's just buying something with a little bit of style. It makes it a little bit different and unusual. So that brings us on to the next subject. Now for men, it could be purchasing a hat. It's unusual, and some people will get to a sartorial level where wearing a suit is quite common for them, and they want to change or upgrade the look, maybe introduce a hat into their ensemble. So for example, this hat here is a jazz style, so it's turned up at the front. So jazz style trilby. Then of course we have the traditional fedora or trilby, very similar styles, but it is another look that some people like. Be a little bit careful with the colour that you choose. Think about what that person wears on a frequent basis. If they wear lots of browns and beige colours, typically then black might not be the best colour to choose. So it might be something more like a chocolate brown or possibly a navy coloured hat, dependent on what sort of colours they predominantly wear. If they wear lots of greys or blacks, those sort of colour ranges, then maybe a grey with a black hat band, or a pure grey with a grey band, or a black coloured hat. Be a little bit careful with the headband colours, because if you're choosing a hat, it can enhance the look or make it look worse. If somebody's got quite a round face and you put a dark band on them, it can accentuate the width of the face, and that might not be what they want to do. So, but it's an idea, and even if it's not a case of buying the hat, but taking somebody as a gift to try hats on at a hat stall, that might be a good present, and then buy the hat once they've chosen the one they'd like. Okay. Now when it comes to ladies, I'm going to suggest a little bit unusual, maybe a handbag of some description, something a little bit unusual, an evening bag maybe. This one's been handmade. It's got a little bit of detail on it, and it's an unusual shape, not a very large bag, but something that a lady might be able to use when she went out in the evening. Something a little bit different. Again, if you're not sure whether they would like that bag, then possibly source somewhere where you've got an idea of the type of bag you want and you find something similar. Then maybe the present could be go out for a day out, go to that place, let them choose one for themselves and treat them out for a meal or something like that, having done so, a lunch or something like that. So that's another option open to you. So idea number 4, for a gentleman, we might consider something along the lines of a tie. It might be a handmade tie, might be some lovely ties out there at the moment, and something to consider is the construction of the tie. So a 7-fold tie is a little bit thicker and it's constructed much more robustly to a normal 3-fold tie, which tends to be a little bit thinner, but it could be a case of choosing a tie that complements what they wear on a regular basis. So for example, if they wear a lot of formal suits for work or for formal occasions, then choose a colour that would complement it. And I'll post a video details below so that if somebody's considering buying a tie for somebody, then they'll get some ideas and options from the video. But when it comes to ladies, obviously I would recommend something along the lines of a spa day, a ticket for a spa day, to allow them to go to a place and chill out and have a really nice day out, not with yourself necessarily, but maybe with a close friend of theirs or a relative, and treat them to a day out. Now that can be quite expensive, but if it's not something you think you could afford, then why not do a little bit of role reversal and treat them, for example, if they regularly cook the meals and housework, then maybe do a day where you cook the meal for them and you do the washing up afterwards and you treat them to a special evening. And that in itself gives a lady much reward, to be pampered a little bit, without being patronising, but I think we all like to be treated a little bit special from time to time, and that would be a very special gift, as long as you're reasonably good at cooking. If not, then it might be a case of ordering in. So that brings us on to the final things really. So for the gentleman, perhaps something else might be, for example, I use this company here on a frequent basis. Now I'm not getting any sort of sponsorship or anything from them. It's just that I use these on a regular basis. They're consistent, but there are many others that will provide you with pocket squares. Pocket squares are, well, they can be inexpensive. This one's a wool one. They can be inexpensive, all the way up to hundreds of pounds. But the solo scarves are quite reasonable in their prices, and it's not just pocket squares as well, they do scarves as well, and it's something to consider that might make a special gift to somebody that regularly wears a suit. They might want something to add a little bit of colour and a little bit of texture to their ensemble, and pocket squares are a good way of doing that, and without breaking the bank as well. So for the ladies, something like this might be something to do, and it is an album of memories, or for example a scrapbook if you like, and it might include pictures of your relationship. It could be pictures of significant dates. So for example, if you went to a theatre and you had an experience there, a lovely experience, it could be sticking the tickets in there, having attended it, with a little note to say the date, the time, and expressing how much you enjoyed the day. A nice idea, and it's something that lasts. It's something that will remain available to that lady for a long period of time, and it shows that you've made the effort. So it could be the case of you adding things into the book or memories to help you make it that little bit more special. So there are the 5 gift ideas for him and 5 gift ideas for her. One final suggestion which covers both gender is consider something like writing materials and diaries and journals, notebooks, something of a little bit of quality. Also maybe something like a pen, something very special, handmade. This is made out of a piece of wood and it has a gold nib. Lovely writing pen and not expensive. You can spend anything from say £20 or £10 up to £1,000 plus. It's really does come down to how much you want to spend, but it's a lovely gesture, especially if your partner does a lot of writing or note taking, or regularly does a journal or carries out records in their diaries. Then it's something to consider. Yeah, something like that is a really good gift. And then, for example, a book of some significance to the individual. It could be factual or it could be fictional. There's another idea there. But the thing about books is I would look at, does that person have a significant interest in something, a particular subject, and then look at buying a book that addresses that subject or is linked to that subject, rather than what you think they'd like. Do a little bit of investigation into the sort of things they do like, the sort of books they are reading, and that will give you a good indicator there. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. And if you'd like notifications, then hit the bell. We love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make some, then please jot them down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We also like ideas for the next set of videos, so if you've got an idea or a question you want to raise specifically, we might be able to consider that for a future video. So until next time, take care.